Assalamualaikum, Queens of Peace. My name is Hafsa and I'm your host for YATA Talks. Today in the studio with us is a recurring guest, Sheikh Mustafa Khattab. He's here to talk to us about Islam as a system and Muslims as a follower. So, Assalamualaikum.
Assalam.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Just tell me a little bit about yourself for our viewers who haven't seen you before.
Well, my name is Mustafa Khattab. I'm the Imam of the Anatolia Islamic Center and a member of the Canadian Council of Imams. I've been trained at Al-Azhar for over 30 years to be able to serve the Muslim community in the West, particularly in North America.
Well, thank you. We've had this topic on our show, I think, briefly before, as Islam as a system and Muslims as the followers of the system, but we really haven't focused onto why there's such a disconnect. If Islam is this perfect system, how come the followers are not following the system? So what would your thoughts be on that?
Well, I think for the most part, the reason is because people don't have the proper education about the faith, so they don't know too much about the religion. And I can attest to this because I see people coming all the time asking questions about the very basics of the faith, how to purify themselves for prayer, things related to marriage, divorce, inheritance, and so on and so forth. Even, the very basics are missing in the Muslim community. And I believe if people have the proper education about the faith, they will get to love it and they will be happy to follow it. The second reason, I think, is because we have about 57 Muslim countries in the world, and Islamic law, Sharia law, is not fully applied in most of them. It's only applied to a very small segment, which is the social aspect of a Muslim's life, which basically covers marriage, divorce, inheritance, the social things. But it is not it's not applied to the rest of a Muslim's life.
So touching on Sharia law, you talked about Sharia law. It's a hot topic now. Everyone's either confused of the word or they're scared of the word Sharia, what's Sharia? So what is Sharia?
Very basically, Sharia linguistically means a path to water. Like when you walk and there is this, this place where people walk, this is called Sharia in Arabic. And technically, Sharia is the law that covers every aspect of a Muslim's life in this world and the next life. So this basically includes your relationship with your Creator, how to worship Him, how to know Him and serve Him. It also deals with the social aspects that we spoke about. It talks about economics, it talks about political life, it talks about your relationship with those who are around you. It talks about a relationship between a Muslim and a non-Muslim, a relationship between husband and wife and children. And it talks about war and peace, and it talks about manners and etiquettes of doing things, and it talks about the next life and what to expect. So in a nutshell, Sharia means your relationship with your Creator and your relationship with the creation.
So it covers everything of a Muslim's life.
Yes.
So why do you think now when people, especially non-Muslims, when they hear the word Sharia, they think mainly the war etiquette? Why would you say that?
I think the reason is because on the war on terror and, Islamophobes who, tarnish Islam and tarnish Islamic aspects like Sharia and Jihad and so on and so forth. These are beautiful terms in Arabic, and like the word fundamentalism, al-usuliyah. These are basic and, very good terms in Islamic discourse, but in the last 15, 20 years, they have been distorted and they have been used in a way that is not, used in traditional Islam. So basically, if we understand the concept of Sharia, so as I said, it covers everything that has to do with a Muslim's life. And we spoke about, covering the social aspect, economic, political, everything that deals with a Muslim life. And they focus only on a very tiny aspect of Sharia, which is punitive laws or punishments in Islam. And in every system in the world, you will find, social aspects, and also there are punishment laws. If someone does something wrong, we don't give them candy. We punish them in a certain way. And the punishment for one crime varies from one country to another. In some places, for example, if there is a serial killer or a rapist, in some countries they put them in jail. In some societies they put them to death because they have the capital punishment. And so there are different systems out there. If you just say that Sharia law is all about chopping people's hands off, This is just like saying that the American law is all about killing people with the electric chair, right? Because this is one just tiny aspect of the American law, but the rest deals with different aspects. And very quickly, what Sharia is all about is protecting 5 things. They call it maqasid al-Sharia in usul al-fiqh. Sharia is all about protecting 5 things. Protecting faith, your ability to worship your Lord. Protecting life, to live your life. No one should come and kill and attack you. 2, protect your dignity. So, and this is why rape and fornication are forbidden. And to protect wealth. So no one should come and steal your money. And finally, protecting aql, your ability to think. And there are punishments for violating any of these. So if someone kills another, then there's the punishment for murder. And if someone steals your money, there's punishment. If someone rapes a woman, there is punishment for that. If someone drinks alcohol, they now don't have the capacity to think freely, then there's punishment for this as well in Islam. So Sharia is all about protecting all these things, so a person can live their life and they can achieve, their potential in life, basically.
So do you think one of the reasons that there is such a disconnect between Islam and its followers could be that Muslims are not very aware of what their own Sharia law is to the full extent? I
believe so, yes.
So what would you say would be a resource where we can learn not this hyper media version of Sharia law, where young Muslim people can learn what the laws are of their own religion?
Well, I believe the masajid, the Islamic centers, are a good place to learn. And there are so many scholars in the GTA who teach the basics of Sharia and the basics of Islam. And also in Islamic schools, yes, they focus on ibadat, like prayers and fasting and so on and so forth. But they should also focus on other aspects like inheritance, the relationship between, people in society in different capacities, husband, wife, children, and so on and so forth, and the relationship with Allah in this world and the next life. So to cover the general aspects of Sharia to reflect the beauty of our faith. Islam is perfect, Sharia is perfect, Muslims are not. And I think to be up to this level, we need to educate ourselves and gain knowledge of the faith. And of course, we know that the first word ever revealed of the Quran was Iqra, read. So this is an invitation to read and learn. And if someone does not have a car, they are not able to drive in the winter time, there are millions of videos there on YouTube. So you can watch the videos and you can learn. But make sure you choose the teachers who are qualified to teach, because not everyone is a scholar. Because different people, they claim different things, but look for real scholars with the qualifications. They have a say in Urdu, Neem Hakim Khatra Jan, Neem Mullah Khatra Iman. Half a doctor is dangerous to your life, and half a scholar is dangerous to your faith. So make sure you pick the people you learn from.
So just really quickly, because we do have to wrap up, if you could talk to our audience watching and talk to them what do you think is the importance of knowing your own laws in your own religion and your own religious system?
Well, basically, my message to our audience is the more you learn about the faith, the more things will become easy for you. The reason why people's lives are difficult is because they don't know the basics of the faith. And in Islam, basically, the knowledge that everyone should have to have a better relationship with their Lord and a better relationship with the creation, 3 things. They call them al-ilm al-mafrud, the fard knowledge that every Muslim should have, regardless of they have a PhD from UFT or Harvard, or if they don't know how to read or write. Every Muslim should have this knowledge. And this knowledge basically has something to do with the 3 questions we get in the grave. Who is your Lord? What's your faith? And who is your prophet? So the fard knowledge basically means that you learn about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His beautiful names, how to worship Him and how to serve Him and how to have a good relationship with Him. The knowledge of the Prophet ﷺ, to know his manners and his personality and his akhlaq. And number 3, the knowledge of Islam, which is halal and haram. So these are basically the 3 aspects of the fard knowledge. Anything that comes after, like calligraphy, philosophy, and so on and so forth, these subjects serve the 3 main topics or the 3 main elements of the fard knowledge. So gain knowledge, and knowledge is power.
Well, thank you so much for being with us again.
Jazakallah. Thank you.
If you're interested in getting in contact with Sheikh Mustafa Khattab, then please click the links below. Keep sending us your questions, and I'm your host, Hafsa for YATA Talks.